and welcome back for week 2 of our Sew Trees Quilt Along. It's all about cutting today.
Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, the leaves are so unchanged.
I love this quilt that much that I sewed it already 2 times before. Once I used Chill and then I had White Christmas. And today I will use our brand new in stores shimmer collection. I have an assortment from dark to light and then the spotted background with this metallic thing and a little bit of yellow for the stars. So let's talk about starching first. It makes absolutely sense to have the fabric pieces for the blocks starched. We don't need that for the border. So I will first cut the border, set it apart, and then starch my fabrics. You will find all the measurements in your pattern, which you will of course need to take part in this quilt along. This is the amount of background fabric you bought probably in a shop. And I measured the length of my border strips, added a little bit more so then I can adjust them later. And this is what I will need later for the blocks. So I cut through and that's this one apart. Now from the length of your yardage, you want to cut the 2 border strips. It's easier if you fold it the other way around. We fold it in a way that the selvage is on top and on the bottom. Okay, now it's a little bit easier to cut. First we trim off the selvage here and we use a second ruler to make sure we are really perpendicular here. So let's place this one on the fold. Okay, looks good. Now you measure the width of your wider border strip. And then we have the second cut. And mark it here. This is now my wider border strip, which I set apart. Let's measure for the smaller border strip. Okay, it's just the right size. So this edge is straight anyway, and I leave that one as the outer edge because later when it gets quilted, this one will get uneven anyway. So this is now my smaller border piece. The next step would be to starch our prints in the remaining background fabric. And later I will press them. It helps me that the liquid of the starch can sink in a little bit into the fibers of my fabrics and distribute evenly. From my starch background fabric, I will now cut all those pieces I need to frame the trees. You will find all those measurements in your pattern. And the pattern also advises that you organize yourself by labeling all those different pieces. So we provided a PDF download for you with all the labels. See? You will need the letters A to K, and you have the capital letters for the large trees and the small letters for the smaller trees, of course. Our background fabric is cut. If you work on the table runner, you would only cut for the smaller trees and 2 smaller border strips, of course. Now it's on to the prints. We have print strips, each will yield in 1 large and 2 smaller trees. Since we have an assortment of 7 prints, we would only need 5 of them. You have enough fabric to make additional blocks for a pillow or maybe even for a table runner in addition to your quilt. So let's cut those. What's left are the little stars from the yellow fabric. I copied my star from the pattern and enforced it a little bit with a cardboard so it's more stiff as a template. And then I draw all the needed stars onto my fusible web like that, using this template. And now I can iron on my fusible web onto the yellow fabric and cut out the single stars. Let's do that. Just with your pair of scissors. These are the little stars we will later then applique onto the block. And that's for today. I hope you had fun to cut and prepare for all your blocks. Post your progress on Instagram and Facebook using the hashtag #SewsTreesQAL, and hopefully you are the winner of this week's prize. See you next time around when we start sewing the large trees.